Is home film scanning actually worth it? To find out, we built our own DIY mirrorless scanning setup. Today, we are giving you a completely raw look at what it's like to scan our own film for the very first time.
I'm shocked at how different this is compared to the lab scan.
No sugarcoating, just the honest truth about the 3 things we wanted to know going into this. How easy is it to scan your own film? What is the actual process for a beginner? And are the results better than a professional lab? We quickly realized there was a massive learning curve, but we also discovered there was a level of creative control that we'd never had before. Here is exactly how our first couple of scans turned out. Let's try this film scanner out. We did a little test when we first built this thing. So we've got it off to my right here. We've set up the camera. We've set up the actual film scanning, just the light source and the film holder, and we've got some film in there. So we're going to try some scanning now, see if we can get any good results out of Negative Lab Pro. So I am tethering from the camera itself to the computer just to make things a little bit easier. That way I'm not really bumping the camera or anything like that. We could set it on a timer, but seeing though we're in Lightroom today, I just thought we'd tether and it would capture straight into the program itself. So let's take a scan of the first piece of film that I have in here. So I'm just gonna click the shutter button in Lightroom, and I'm just gonna rotate this. And now we're not experts, we're just still learning this and taking you along for the journey. Before we jump into Negative Lab Pro, I'm just going to use the white balance dropper here. So what I've learned already is that we should take a white balance reading off the film border. So we'll just click that, and now it's obviously changed that quite a bit. And now we're going to go in and crop this image so we get rid of the borders, even though it's kind of cool seeing the borders. We can bring that back later. All right, so we have cropped and white balanced this image, and now it's time to convert. So let's go to a Negative Lab Pro, and just gonna keep everything default. So it's a negative, it's from a digital camera. We'll try the Frontier color model and pre-saturation as default. So let's hit convert. All right. So it's converted it into a positive image, but looks like there are some color shifts and color casts that we want to try and get rid of. We're playing around with this soft lows just to kind of give it a little bit of a softer feel. Let's try putting a bit of red into the shadows.
Yeah.
And then let's bring these darks down a little bit, bring them back.
Yeah. It's definitely looking red through the midtones.
And so, yeah, let's put a bit of cyan into the midtones.
Oh yeah, that's better.
Overall, it's looking a little bit cold.
Oh yeah.
So let's bring a little bit of warmth back.
Yeah, nice. What about that lab glow or lab fade?
Yeah, let's see what this does.
We'll go the other way. Yeah, it just softens it a bit.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
That's nice.
What about lab fade?
Ooh, the other way?
Other way.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Yeah, the skin tones are looking all right. It's obviously in a shady area. There's a lot of green. So it's kind of a cooler scene anyway, and we kind of want to lean into that. But overall, that's looking pretty good.
I like how much control we have over the end result, like the look.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. It's looking pretty good. So, should we just apply those settings?
Yeah.
So let's apply those settings.
Nice.
Now we're back in Lightroom. Should we compare it to...
Oh, yeah. And then, yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we're just having a quick look at a before and after. So on the left here is our lab scan, and on the right is the scan that we did. Obviously, you can see here the tones are a lot more muted in the lab scan. There's a bit more saturation, a bit more colour separation between the skin tones and the shadows. There's a little bit more noticeably a bit more cyan blue in the shadows, which maybe we could try and correct if we want to.
Yeah. I think we've got a nicer skin tone overall though. Like if you zoom in on both skin tones. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's really interesting. Because I'm definitely happier with our digital scan
Yes.
with skin tone.
The grain is similar. It's probably just a little bit more, it's a bit more saturation, I think.
Yeah.
In some areas.
You really can see the cyan though. Like it's not in that one, but it is in this.
All right, let's try another image. So I've just loaded another film strip into the film holder. So yeah, let's take another image. Let's rotate this, go back to develop. All right, so let's white balance this. So we'll just click the film border, and now let's crop. All right, let's try this image. Obviously our camera sensor has a bit of dust on it, so we should fix that up when we want to scan things properly, but for today's experiment we'll just leave it. So now let's go to Negative Lab Pro.
Oh yeah, look at all the dust spots. Whoops.
And we'll just leave everything standard again. Let's go Convert. And
oh wow, look at that.
Quite interesting. It's very different already from our original scan that the lab had done at the time.
So different. Whoa.
Yeah, we'll pull up the original lab scan in a moment, but let's just have a bit of a play with this. Let's keep the soft lows off. Let's go what does soft highs do. It brings back a little bit more detail in the highlights.
The skin looks lovely.
It does.
Okay.
Just fading the shadows.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, super interesting. I'm shocked at how different this is compared to the lab scan.
What if we just
try a different profile?
Yeah, tone profile. What does soft look like? Okay, yeah, it's quite flat contrast. It's hard to do. Wow. Let's go back to standard.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, I'm desperate to see the lab scan comparison.
All right, let's apply those settings. Okay, so we're looking at a before and after of the original lab scan, which we actually really loved when we first got back. We thought it looked really nice, and it still looks really nice.
Yeah, it's more stylized almost.
A lot of green in the shadows.
Yeah. Really interesting though.
Yeah, obviously we've prioritised a bit more of a golden, warm, magenta feeling.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we could get this similar feeling.
Yeah, we could go that way
if we wanted to.
Depends on the look, hey, that you want to go for. Like I would say our scan is more true colour. But I do love that bluey green kind of cast or look in the other one.
But even, as I said, the kind of highlights in the dress here.
That's interesting.
It's quite cool in the highlights there. Whereas this is a little bit more yellowy green, which is obviously an overall colour tone in the original scan.
I wonder if...
but I feel like the separation between the highlights and the rest of the skin tones is quite nice here.
Yeah. I just wonder because we've got those really cool highlights in both of our scans. I just wonder if there is something else that we need to be aware of, like when we're scanning, like, because, you know, the white shirt in the previous image was also quite cyan.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something we're missing. If you know, let us know. Is there a special trick? That's cool though. What do you think?
So, yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, like overall, I think probably prefer just the overall skin tones and the warmth and the more magenta look overall.
Yeah.
But in the original scan, I quite like how the shadows in the background went a bit more greeny blue.
Yeah, I kind of like the shadows or the blacks, faded blacks on the lab scan. I feel like her hair on the left side is just that bit softer.
Yeah, we could try.
But yeah, I feel like this is all just
in.
tweaking. So interesting.
So scanning your own film is definitely a learning curve. And in some ways it is easy and others it is harder. So the basic setup of a camera scanner is pretty straightforward, but you do need to make sure that the camera and film holder are level, which can be a bit time consuming. Once this is done, you can start scanning your film. And one thing we did to make it a little bit easier was to tether the camera to Lightroom. This meant we didn't have to touch the camera at any point. The converting process wasn't as daunting as we first thought. We were able to get reasonable results fairly quickly, but there is and will continue to be a learning curve to get the best results. One thing we have learned is to white balance off the film border and then crop the image to get rid of that film border before you start converting the negative. When we first built the scanning setup, we didn't actually crop the image before converting, which made it a lot harder to get good results. We really struggled with getting good colors and good contrast when converting the image. And I think this was because it's taking into consideration the film border as well when converting. So that's one thing we've learned, is to make sure to crop the image before converting. We will need to spend more time learning the process of converting a negative image into a positive image, but the controls seem fairly intuitive, especially coming from a digital workflow in Lightroom. There were some instances where we wanted to correct color cast, but we just really need to spend more time in the program just to learn the ins and outs and fine-tuning those corrections. Having control over how you want the final image to look is such a different experience. Lab scans are so dependent on who's scanning your film, and you have no other reference for what the image could look like. You don't get to see what they see during the scanning process, so the final image is up to them and how they think the image should look. In our experience, most lab scans come back looking great, but now we have much more control over how the final image will look. So, are our home scans better than lab scans? I wouldn't say better, I would just say they are different. It's just so interesting to see how much control you have over the final feel and look of your image. So another reason we wanted to scan our own film was to save a little bit of money. There is an initial cost with building one of these setups, but over time you'll be able to start to save some money by doing it yourself. We are really keen to keep learning the scanning and converting process and dial in a good workflow. So if you're interested to see more of this process, let us know in the comments and we can do a part 3. If you haven't seen our film scanner build video, you can watch that here. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next one.